Liam Delap will not stay at Ipswich this summer. Delap has been Ipswich's crowning jewel in their ultimately poor season, and what's more, due to the club's relegation, a clause in his contract is now active, which means he now has a £30 million release clause and a £40 million buyback clause from Man City. He will certainly get signed by a top club, with some heavy rumours already flying about. Delap has followed his father's footsteps, not with his throw-ins, and has brought something new to the footballing world during the 2024-25 season. The young striker, initially from Manchester City's youth academy, has proven himself to be one of the most exciting talents in English football. His impressive performances for Ipswich Town in the 2024-25 season have caught the attention of footballing pundits, scouts, and top clubs alike as he continues to develop into a star. He is looking at over 15 combined goals and assists for this season, which when playing for a club that would eventually be relegated is impressive. The decision to join Ipswich Town for £20 million has been pivotal in his development, due to his constant playing time that he clearly was not getting before. Subsequently, we have seen his stock rise considerably. However, despite his brilliant individual performances, Ipswich Town's fate took a turn for the worse, and they ultimately got relegated from the Premier League, a result that has opened the door for the top clubs to sign a player for a modest fee while he is still very young and has bags of potential. Born in England, Delap came through the youth ranks at Derby County, but his breakthrough moment came when he was signed by Manchester City in 2019. The decision to bring in the talented striker, known for his powerful physical presence, speed, and poise in front of goal, was one that raised many eyebrows. Delap spent much of his early years at Manchester City's academy, where he honed his craft and showcased his natural goal-scoring abilities. His time with City's youth team saw him gain attention, and his goal-scoring exploits earned him a spot in the first team during the 2020-21 season. Despite some appearances in the Premier League and a handful of cup appearances, to no surprise, Delap struggled to secure a consistent spot in Pep Guardiola's star-studded squad, which meant he would need to go out on loan to continue his development. In the summer of 2024, Manchester City made the decision to sell Delap, and after considering a few options, he joined Ipswich Town in the hope of gaining more regular first-team football in the Premier League. Ipswich, newly promoted to the top flight, were looking for a dynamic attacking player, and Delap, with his blend of technical ability and physicality, seemed like an ideal fit. This season proved to be a remarkable one for Liam. Despite Ipswich Town's struggles in the Premier League, Delap quickly became one of the standout performers in the team. His impressive performances in front of goal and his overall work rate made him a key figure for the club. From the outset of the season, Delap demonstrated his clinical finishing ability. His first goal of the campaign came in only Ipswich's third match of the season, where they faced Fulham, which ended in a 1-1 draw. Delap's strike from outside the box not only showed his goal-scoring instincts, but also ability to produce special moments. His ability to find space, use his body to shield the ball, and his calmness in finishing are traits that set him apart from many other young forwards in the league. Manchester City clearly saw his potential and put the £40 million buyback clause in the details of the sale. Do they need him with the big man Erling Haaland up front as well as their new signings? Click here for our video on Manchester City next season. As the season progressed, Delap's presence continued to grow. Despite Ipswich Town's struggles, he consistently delivered goals. His ability to link up play with teammates and create chances also became apparent as the season wore on. While many expected Ipswich to face relegation battles due to the quality of opposition they were up against, Liam's performances stood out. By the middle of the season, Delap had already scored over 10 goals, and his form showed no sign of slowing down. One of his best performances came in a dramatic, thrilling 2-1 victory over Tottenham Hotspur. Delap provided both a goal and an assist, underlining his growing influence in the side. His goal came from a poacher's finish from close range, while his assist showed his link-up ability and vision, assisting his teammate for the winner. Against Chelsea, Liam played a pivotal role in a commanding 2-0 victory, contributing both a goal and an assist. His goal came from a well-placed penalty, coolly converting from the spot after being fouled in the box. He followed up his goal with a smart assist, putting a perfectly weighted pass onto a Murray Hutchinson, which led to Ipswich's second goal. Delap's all-around performance in this match highlighted his versatility and understanding of the game, showing that he could impact matches both by scoring and creating opportunities. Another standout moment came in a 2-2 draw against Aston Villa, where delap netted a crucial brace. His goals came from 2 weak foot strikes from inside the box, exploiting Villa's defensive lapses and demonstrating his composure and clinical finishing. His brace helped Ipswich secure a hard-earned point, and it was a clear sign of his ability to rise to the occasion in high-pressure situations. These performances proved his ability to deliver against top-tier opposition, signalling his arrival as one of the Premier League's brightest young talents. One of the most impressive aspects of delap's play in the 2024-25 season was his versatility. He proved capable of playing both as a traditional number 9 and by dropping deep, helping his team in various attacking situations. His athleticism and powerful build made him a physical presence, while his tactical intelligence and understanding of the game showed his maturity beyond his years. Even in a relegation battle, delap was not merely a passenger in the team, he was a leader on the pitch. His determination, passion, and professionalism were clear to see. His performances earned him widespread recognition and praise, not only from Ipswich fans but also from pundits across the Premier League. It wasn't just his goals that caught the eye, it was his overall contribution to the team, his work ethic, and his commitment to the cause. Delap had quickly become one of the most important players at Ipswich Town, and many think he was destined for bigger things in the near future. Despite delap's personal success, Ipswich Town could not avoid the inevitable. They were relegated to the Championship at the end of the 2024-25 season. The team had fought hard to retain their Premier League status, but ultimately the level of competition proved too much. A key point in the season was the recent game against Wolves, who were just above Ipswich, hovering outside of the relegation zone. If they won, the gap would only be 6 points with 7 games left. Despite being 1-0 up for most of the game, they let this lead slip and lost the game 2-1, making the gap between the two struggling clubs 12 points, and the Tractor Boys' time in their top flight from then on was over. Their relegation was a tough blow for the club, but it also triggered an interesting development in delap's career. Delap's agreement with Ipswich Town contained a £30 million buyout clause, which would become active if the team were relegated. This clause had been a safety net for the player, in case his temporary side faced relegation. Despite Ipswich's disappointing season, this buyout clause has now put delap in a position where he could command a significant transfer fee, and many clubs are now looking at the young striker as a valuable asset. The buyout clause has attracted interest from several top clubs, but the most intriguing link is with Manchester United. With a £30 million price tag, delap represents an affordable option for many clubs in need of an attacking boost. His potential has now been recognised by United, and now that he has proven his ability in the Premier League, the club is reportedly considering whether to activate the buyout clause and bring him back to Old Trafford. Chelsea are also interested in adding him to their already packed-out squad. Both these clubs need a more clinical striker, as Rasmus Højlund and Nicholas Jackson are decent players, but do not have that striker's instinct that a top club needs. Liam Delap would be a more clinical replacement for both Nicholas Jackson at Chelsea and Rasmus Højlund at Manchester United, offering sharp finishing and a more consistent goal-scoring threat. Unlike Jackson, who is still developing his Premier League presence, Delap has already shown his ability to score goals in high-pressure situations, such as his brace against Aston Villa and his decisive display against Chelsea. Delap's clinical nature in front of goal is complemented by his strong positioning and ability to find space, which would make him a more reliable option for teams in need of a consistent striker. For Chelsea, Delap's poaching instincts and ability to finish chances with composure would better complement their attacking system. His physicality and hold-up play also make him a solid target man, providing Chelsea with a focal point in attack. For Manchester United, Delap could offer more clinical finishing compared to Højlund or Zirkzee, whose raw pace and power are still works in progress. Delap's precise finishing and ability to operate in tight spaces would help United convert more of their attacking opportunities into goals, providing the cutting edge that they've often lacked. In both cases, Delap's more established clinical edge would give these teams a reliable goal scorer to build their attacks around. On the other hand, the £40 million buyback clause for Liam Delap presents an exciting opportunity for Man City to regain control over the talented striker's future. If activated, this clause allows the club to repurchase Delap, potentially reintegrating him into the team or selling him for a profit after his development. This clause could provide financial flexibility and strategic advantages, as Delap's value may increase, as he gains more experience from hopefully his more guaranteed game time. However, this will be difficult with Haaland and Marmoush also being strong up top. For the city or club, exercising the buyback clause will help ensure that they retain a promising young player with a high ceiling. It could also serve as a safeguard against losing a rising star to a rival, allowing for a more secure long-term strategy. Additionally, if Delap's market value grows, activating the buyback clause could prove financially beneficial by securing a talented asset at a more favourable price than a direct transfer. However, careful planning will be required to evaluate whether the buyback is the best long-term move for the club's roster, financial situation, and overall team strategy, considering the broader market dynamics and Delap's continued development. But will Liam want to return to a club that wanted to sell him in the first place, and where he would certainly be second choice behind the Norwegian robot? Manchester United has been known to invest in young English talent, and Delap fits this profile perfectly. There is also a growing sense that United could try to tempt Delap to Old Trafford. Delap's potential is immense, and if he continues on his upward trajectory, he could be the next great English forward to make a mark in the Premier League. For Delap, this is a defining moment in his career. He has a wide array of options now, with clubs from across Europe likely to show interest in his services. With his release clause triggered, he has the opportunity to move to a top-tier club that can offer him Champions League football and the chance to compete at the highest level. A move to Manchester United would be a particularly exciting prospect for Delap, as he could potentially form a deadly attacking partnership with some of the club's other talented forwards. A transfer to City, however, would see him reunited with some of the world's best players, further developing his game under the guidance of Pep Guardiola. At just 22 years old, Delap's future is incredibly bright, and the 2024-25 season has shown that he has all the qualities needed to succeed at the very highest level. His goals, physicality and work rate make him a complete forward, and he is only just beginning to tap into his potential. Relegation with Ipswich may have been a disappointment for the club, but for Delap, it has only opened the door to new opportunities. Whether Manchester City decides to bring him back or Manchester United moves to secure his services, it is clear that Delap has a very exciting future ahead of him. His performances this season have been nothing short of remarkable, and with his potential, the next chapter in his career is bound to be one of great success.